Hey, what's up? Scott here from Dissolution and In 2 Months. Got another review coming your way. This time I'm going to be reviewing the Kickport FX ports for your snare drum and toms. If you can take a look here, it's pretty much like the Kickport, same idea, but it's meant to go in the batter head of your snare drum. I got a pearl brass free-floating snare drum here. I actually got it powder coated at an auto body shop myself. It cost me about $50 and turned out pretty well. So here's an installed FX port. You basically just put the rings on the snare, slide the plastic device through, and on the back here, there's a rubber kind of cone thing that flips over and will actually clamp it to the skin. You have one of these protective rings on both sides, so even though this is a dual ply head, I was able to do it with no issues. If I was doing it again, I might just go with a really thick single ply, but I still had no issues with this, and it seems to be holding out just fine. So for the rest of the video, I'll tell you when it's in and it's not, but I don't have extra hands to hold everything, so bear with me. So with the FX port, you can put them in the batter head or the reso head, but for this test, we're just going to be using the batter head. When you use the Kickport FX port, you'll actually get a lot more air come out the top head. So when you're miking, we'll show a few positions here. You can actually get more of the bottom snare and the head coming through. So for a live show example, usually you only have one mic on your snare. This is great for that. It adds a little bit of volume and changes the overall frequency. Also, for these tests, I have a SM57 on the bottom as well, so I'll be showing just the top head, both heads, and I'll be doing some with, without the port, and I'll also be doing some with and without EQ. To start this off, I'll use a Evans ST Dry Level 360 head. One thing that you're going to notice is this snare has quite a bit of ping without any dampening on it. It's brass, so it's made of a fairly hard shell. This is one of the reasons why I typically use Moon Gel, but now I've switched to the Kickport FX ports. But let's try first just the top mic, just the no EQ, and then we'll add in the EQ. All right, let's add in that EQ now. Yeah, there's a lot of ping there. I don't like that at all. I would tune this differently, but just for this test, this is how it was, so that's all I'm going to be using it. Now let's try it with the bottom mic as well. And let's turn on that EQ. So as you can see, that's too much ping. The next test, let's put on some Moon Gel. I got two fairly big pads on here. It's going to give it a really dry sound. I'll do it with just the top mic first, and we'll do with no EQ, and then we'll add in the EQ. And let's turn on that EQ. Bottom mic as well. Now let's EQ that. I prefer to have the Moon Gel on here. It's what I've been doing for the last while. I like to get rid of some of the extra overtones and ping out of my snare, but this is one of the reasons why the new FX ports. I find with the Moon Gel it's great, but you can see it's covered in, well, for me, dog hair and dirt and crumbs. These often fall off in a gig bag or something like that, and you go to play a show and, hey, I have no Moon Gel on my snare drum. So With the FX ports, I'm not going to have that problem. All right, so we got the FX port in this snare drum, and I have to just say, wow, it's crazy. I can't even believe it. The first thing I noticed was how sensitive the snare drum is. Like when I just barely tap it, I can really hear the snares coming through that hole. Normally when you're just tapping your snare drum, you don't get a lot of the resonance from the bottom head, and you can't hear the snares as much, but even barely tapping that super tight head, I can hear the snares on the bottom. I like that. Another thing I noticed, it did add some volume. I'll even, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I will put my hand over it and pull it away and see if you can hear a difference here. I can tell quite a difference there. I hope you can hear the difference. I'm going to do a couple tests so you can have a comparison, and then I'll actually compare it side by side to the ones we did earlier. All right, you guys want to hear some tests, so let's try it right now. Just the top mic and just not quite over the hole. We're going to be about, I'd say, 2 to 3 inches off axis from the hole, just to hear the actual snare drum. Now let's EQ that. So now let's do top and bottom. And we'll EQ that. So next we're going to move the snare drum mic, right over the hole, and we'll see if we can hear much of a difference. Let's do just the top head. EQ. Top and bottom, no EQ. And EQ'd. Wow, it's insane how much louder that is. And I don't need moon gel. I don't need to put a wallet or tape on there, which I know you all have. This is absolutely, it's crazy how perfect that sounds. Even the tone of it, I like it. It's got, it's a little deeper sounding than it was before, but it's got more body, and it still has a nice crack to it. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm going to try the Tom port, FX port out next, and then the Batter kick port. So stick around, subscribe if you want to see some more of these reviews. If any of you guys are looking to pick one of these up, just head over to www.kickport.com. And don't worry, once I get through these review videos, I'm going to be doing some playing on the kit and doing some fun things with these. So stick around, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.